Thank you for joining me today. Kelly Manzone here. So I have a 9-week-old puppy in the other room and I'm playing a little bit of music because I'm trying to get her to settle down so that I could be present for class today. We need for today's class our stick mobility bundle, the 2 long sticks, 1 short stick. And if you don't have sticks, you could use a wooden dowel or a PVC pipe, anything you have, broom. Also, we need a folded up towel for your knees if you need it, access to a ceiling or beam, and then to a sidewall for our tricep drill. So we're going to begin with a dynamic warm-up. I want you to take your short stick. I'm using a 4-foot stick here, and I'm going to go into a wide stance. So we're going to begin kayaking as we go into a lateral lunge. So I'm going to begin by taking my left hand, and now I mentioned this in last class, I'm going to cue you as if we're mirroring each other. So even though this is my right hand, I'm going to call it my left hand so you could follow along with how the camera films. Taking your wide stance, slowly begin to apply a little bit of pressure into the stick, and you're going to go into a lateral lunge, pushing up and over and then back. And we're just going to kind of glide from side to side. So I often mention that we should be barefoot so you could really feel that connection to the floor through the feet, or wearing a minimalist sneaker. So we're doing a work into our hips here, pressing into the feet, pushing the seat slightly back, and we're warming up through the shoulder girdle. And I just want you to inhale and exhale nice and evenly. We're going to add on going into a lunge. So this is my left side. I'm going to come up, pivot to the right, press back, come up through center. Now this right arm is then going to kayak to the left. So again, pivoting on the feet, inhale, exhale, working into the shoulders, driving down into that lunge, getting that nice dynamic warm up. So we're going to do just 4 more. Press back 1, through center, 2, 3, 1 more. Perfect. Maintaining our stance, we're going to take our short stick. Now begin to push into the stick, and as you do so, you're going to create some tension through the posterior chain. Going into your lateral lunge, add rotation through the T-spine, pull apart, and then push into the stick. Inhale, exhale, through center. And adding on, we're going to pause here, pull apart on the stick, elevate, chin neutral, push into the stick as it comes over the forehead, through center, pull apart, and then push into the stick as it goes over through the forehead. Pull apart. Just working with your comfortability. Good. Pull apart and press into the stick. 1 more time on each side. Chin nice and neutral. Gripping the ground with the feet, rotating. Coming through center. 1 more time. Good. And then slowly heel toe together. Take a moment, shake it out. You're going to take your short stick now right to the base of your neck, a little bit higher where a ponytail would be. Going into your horse stance now, take a second to tuck that tailbone under. Chin is neutral, so I had a request to do some chest openers and neck work. So I'm going to go on profile for a second. And while you're here, you're going to flex the palm and then bring the chin in and then neutral. Good. Push the head back, getting right into the neck, opening through the chest. And now we're going to add a little bit of rotation. So I have my palms again pushing into the stick, opening through that upper body. I'm just going to turn off the music that's in the background. Hold on, I'll be right back. I didn't realize that was going to start talking. Okay, so that's off. Sorry. Starting over through here, and again pushing into the stick. Chest is open. Inhale and exhale through center. We're going to add a little bit of a pivot, working now into our hip line with rotation, squeezing through the seat. Perfect. Let's do 2 more on each side. Again, gripping the ground with the feet. Squeeze through the hip as you rotate. 1 more. Excellent. Coming through center, working into our shoulder dislocates. So last class when I was going over the shoulder dislocates, I pointed out a couple of things that common mistakes. People jetting forward through the chin, or having excessive rib flare, anterior tilt, or fingers leaving the stick. So we really want to access the range of motion that you do have. So I'll go from the front view and from your side view. Reclaiming your horse stance, gripping the ground with the feet, soft knees, tucking the tailbone under. All fingers on the stick, pull apart, go to where you can comfortably, and then when you take it forward, you're going to push into the stick and slowly lower. Again, pull apart, activate that posterior chain, chin neutral, chest is open, coming through center, push into the stick. Now from that side view, you'll see I'm keeping everything in alignment, going back to what is comfortable, and everybody is different, so I never want you to work into pain. Perfect. So we have 1 more. Pull apart, pack those shoulders, chin neutral, and then slowly take the stick over the forehead and push into it. Take a moment, shake it out. Adding on, we're gonna go to our 2 sticks, 2 long sticks. Taking our stance now a little bit wider than our hip width. Walk it out to where you're comfortable. You're gonna place your sticks to the inside of the arch of the foot, midline. Then take your arms a little bit lower than your shoulder height. Both sticks now are gonna go over towards the right, and you're gonna do a significant bend into that left knee. Now I'm leveraging into the stick, angling, looking up, and then keeping it here. I'm just gonna bend into that right knee, and then bring it back. Perfect. Again, pushing into the feet. Now I'm bending that right, and shifting back over to left. Now articulating the neck as we warm up, you're gonna close your mouth, keep the tongue on the roof of your mouth, breathing through the nose. You're gonna look over your shoulder and then upward towards the ceiling. Over your shoulder and then upward towards the ceiling. Transition through center. Now arms through center to your right now, and then hold here, shift into that left leg, shift back into your right leg. Good. Shift into the left leg, and when we go back over towards our right, we're leveraging, the bicep is clearing that, or excuse me, your chin is clearing the bicep, and then inhale and exhale, look over the shoulder, and then upward towards the ceiling. Good. Over the shoulder, and then upward once again towards the ceiling. Driving down through the sticks, come through center, take the sticks forward, you're gonna heel toe in. I'm gonna go on profile here, and we're wider than hip width. Both of our sticks now are gonna angle in closer to the body. We're gonna do a few kind of cat and cow spinal articulations. Hip hinging forward, eyes are down. Inhale through the nose, and then you're gonna exhale, scoop and round your spine. This feels so good. Then drop the belly, hold here for a moment, stretching through that front line. Inhale, exhale, pushing into the sticks, round through the back, and then slowly lower the chest. Good. So we have 1 more deep breath in, exhale, scoop, hollow out your center. Take a moment, come neutral, hinge a little bit further forward. So I could feel this right underneath the armpits in through my front line. Pause here, and then slowly return to stand. Now working into our hips, we're gonna take our right leg forward, left leg back, hold up high onto your sticks, and you're gonna step 1 leg forward into your lunge. Important to note now that those sticks are nice and close towards your hip line. You're gonna wiggle that left leg back. Pausing here, I have a little bit of traction through the upper body, and we're gonna slowly open the chest into that open hip, and then back through center. Again, opening to the left, and then back through center. Perfect. One more. So I'm going to keep that back seat tight. So I'm engaging the glute energy, driving back through the heel. Pausing here, slight hinge forward with your upper body. I'll go on a diagonal. And we're going to soften the knee, tap it to the floor. And then energy presses back through that heel. Again, tap the knee to the floor and press back. We have one more. Tap the knee to the floor, press back, pause, slide those hands up a little bit. Now that front foot, right, you're going to drive down through that right heel. Now rotate inward towards the thigh, just a few inches. Back through center, good. Inhaling and exhaling, I've got about 30% of pressure driving down into the sticks. So we come back through center, and one more, rotate. Pause here, and then soften that knee. Take a moment. We're going to create those train tracks with both of our sticks now working into the posterior chain, into the hamstrings. So as you can see, I'm going to take a second for my alignment, sliding the palms down, pack the shoulders, engage those lats. You're going to square that back left hip forward. You're going to tap the knee on the inhale. Exhale, eyes down, and lengthen. So important to note that you're not hyperextending that front right knee. There's a softness to the knee. Inhale, exhale, eyes down. And if you're struggling to keep your back heel on the ground, you could always narrow your stance. So we're going to do this one more time. Inhale, exhale, lengthen, flatten that back heel. Take a moment, soften into both knees, and glide up. And now we're going to do the other side. So our left leg is forward, right leg is back. We're in our full lunge, and our sticks are right at our hip line. Slide your hands up, wiggle the right leg back. Take a moment. Now again, I'm drawing energy down into the sticks, about 30%. Front heel, it's nice and flat. So I'm feeling that leverage, and now I'm going to rotate into the open hip on that exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale, rotate. Good. Now we have one more. Inhale through center. Exhale, rotate. Now pause here. We're going to take a second coming through center. I'll go on that diagonal once again. Working into that hip, we're going to soften into the knee, and then lengthen, push back. Good. Inhale. Exhale, drive back. So that seat's engaged. You've got energy drawing back through the heel behind you. And pause here. And now we're going to rotate into that front leg on the exhale. Getting some work through the T-spine. Pushing down into the six. This is one of my favorites. It feels so good. One more here. Rotate. Come back through center. Take a second, slide the knee down. And then we're going to place our sticks right on our shoulders to create those train tracks once again to warm up the hamstring through that posterior chain. So flex the hands, drop those shoulders down and back. Inhale. Exhale, find that alignment, square off, knee lowers, and then press back, eyes down. So again, that front leg, even though it's straight, you're not hyperextending into that knee. Let's do two more. Press back, eyes down. Remember, you could always narrow your stance if you're really struggling to leverage that back heel to the floor. Hold. Take a moment, rebend into the knee, slide the sticks in, and we're going to come to stand. So this next exercise, I really like for kind of lighting up the core and working into the hips. We're not using a resistance band, but if you're ever doing this on your own, you could take one of these super bands, wrap it around the top of the foot so that the band is around the arch of the foot. And you could do some marching with some tension from the sticks. It's a fantastic drill. But we're gonna do this one first to kind of light up our core, feel that connection to the hip alignment before we work into some external rotation. So you'll need both of your sticks. You're gonna take them and step, I'll come back a little bit. You're gonna step forward so the bottom of the sticks are angled in closer to you. Then I want you to take your hands here, hold up high, so the elbows are right in line with the shoulders or slightly below, and then corkscrew the knuckles inward towards you. And as you do that, you're gonna feel how the scapula retracts. You're gonna feel that alignment through the back. So everything is engaged. Now, with about 70%, 80% of your strength, we're kind of in a standing plank. So you're gonna push down into the sticks, feel that alignment, the tailbone's tucked under, and then flex the foot, drive up. So nice and powerful. So I'm really pushing into the ground. And as I flex my foot and exhale and drive, going into that alignment, squeezing through the seat. So let's do 10 more. 1, up, 2, push, 3, breathe, 4, 5, we're halfway, up 6, 7, 8, stand tall, 9, 10. Take a moment, relax, and shake it out. So now we're going to use just one stick for our Dumpy Squats. Adding on to what we did a few weeks ago in our Dumpy Squat, we did a 4-count lowering where we had time under tension. Now today, as we're coming up and out of our Dumpy Squat, we're going to add a calf raise. So before we do that, we're going to work into our feet. So take a moment, go into your horse stance. Your left hand is on top, the right hand is on the bottom. Angle the stick inward towards you, pack those shoulders, and just lift and lower your right foot. Really gripping the ground with the toes, spread them out, and then circle in one direction. So we're gonna circle outward first, going from big toe all the way to the pinky toe and around. Keeping the horse stance, keeping the front line of the body lit up. Good. Now pause, and we're going to change, circling inward instead of outward. Excellent. Let's do 3 more, and then we're going to transition to the other foot. 1, circle 2, circle 3, come center, and lower. Now switch hands, so the left hand's on top now. Again, push down into the ball of the foot. Keep that horse stance, proud chest. Releve and lower the foot. Perfect. Now hold. We're going to circle out. Big toe out to the pinky. Try not to initiate the movement from the knee or the hip. So you initiate that movement from the foot first, right through to the ankle, and then inward. Nice big circle, spreading out those toes, getting our feet ready for that releve. Let's do 2 more. And recover. Take a moment coming out of your horse stance. So now you need your ceiling or your beam. We're going to go on a 2-count squat, releve on the way up. Again, I mentioned it in class before. The stick makes some scuffs on my wall. I always use the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. So when you come in, proud chest, your hands are going to be right below your belly button line with the toes slightly turned out. And everybody's squat is a little bit different. And I want you to find a position where you're comfortable, but you keep the integrity of your alignment as you go through the process. So demonstrating, I'm gonna push up into the ceiling, about 70% of my strength coming down. And as I'm driving up, so it's like I'm pulling myself into the squat, and then watch what happens with the upper body. So oftentimes I'll see people kind of taking their shoulders, hiking them up, oops, elbows are out to the side. We don't want that. So what we want is a nice clean alignment here, powerful upper body, and then as you come up, you're gonna releve, flatten the feet, come down into your squat, drive up so that stick stays connected, and then releve. So we're gonna go for a set of 6. 3 with the right hand on top, 3 with the left hand on top. Find your alignment. Come down on a 2 count. Pause for a moment. As you come up, begin to lift the heels. Full releve. Good. Inhaling and exhaling throughout. Corkscrew those elbows. Releve. Come up. Perfect. Try not to lose that 70% tension driving up into the ceiling as you're coming out of your releve. Good. Now changing hands. Stand tall. Find your position. Reset. Pull yourself into your squat. Releve. Drive up. Watch again the alignment. So no butt wink at the bottom of your squat. Elbows in. Shoulders down and back. Releve. Drive up. Lower the heels. Last one. Corkscrew those elbows in. Chin neutral. Releve. Drive up. Now hold at the top. Keep pushing. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and recover. Take a moment, lower the feet, and shake it out. Grab a sip of water if you need it. So it's really important to keep our hands and our feet healthy. I mentioned that a couple classes ago, that if our feet or hands are healthy, chances are we'll be very capable for the long haul. So taking your sticks now, we're going to work into some external rotation, adding a leg extension. Sticks are out to the side, stand tall, and you're going to angle the bottom of the sticks in like we always do. So try not to have your arms up too high. We want them directly below that shoulder line, driving down into the floor, and then take your tailbone under. Now I'm going to demonstrate lifting the left leg. I'm going to open out like we're going into our Captain Morgan, flexing that foot, and then I'm going to go into a leg extension, rebend, come through center, and then lower the leg. So this is quite challenging. Some key points. So when you are elevating that left knee and going out to the side into your external rotation, I want you to be mindful that your right hip is not leaking out to the side. We're going to do 3 on each leg. So standing tall, pack those shoulders, push down into the sticks. Elevate your left knee, pause here. Now open out to the side, proud chest, keeping the foot flexed, try to maintain that height. Extend, rebend, bring it back through center and lower. 2 more times. Driving down through the sticks, flex the foot, externally rotate, pause here, flex, lengthen, good, rebend, take it through center, and gently lower. 1 more, drive up, open out to the side, really work for it, push that knee back, maintain that alignment, flex, rebend, take it back through center, and gently lower. So those are pretty deceiving. They're quite challenging. Going to the other side, standing tall. Elevate the right, open out to the side. Keep the connection with your back, flex, good. Rebend, come back through center, and gently lower. So I want you to take note of like which side is more comfortable than the other. Stay in contact with the stick, flex, squeeze that opposite glute. So that's going to create the stability. 1 more. Press down into the sticks, pause at the top, squeeze that opposite glute, hold here, drop those shoulders, flex, pause, rebend, come through center, and then gently lower. Nice work. So next exercise, we're going to activate mid-glute. Then we're going to take it to the ground, so you might need your towel for some tricep extension. Instead of the sticks being slightly in front this time, we're going to take them to the outside of the midfoot on both sides. Take a moment, pack those shoulders, standing tall. Flex your left foot. The outside of the foot now is going to push like crazy into that stick. I'm just going to go on a diagonal to show you how I don't want you to take the seat back. You're going to scoop it under so you maintain that proud chest. I've got my clock going, so we're going to hold this for up to 10 seconds, doing 3 on each side. Outside the midline of the foot, standing tall, activate, elevate the left foot. Now breathe, push out into the stick. So what I want you to avoid is hiking up the left hip. Keep that left hip down, everything engaged. Push, last 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, on 5. Take a moment, release. 2 more. So if you need to take the stick out a little bit further to feel more activation, you could do that. Proud chest, flex. There it is, push. So this is another reason why we did that marching earlier. Press 80% of your strength. Engage that glute, fire it up. So watch again the alignment with the opposite hip. In 3, 2, 1, and relax. Shake it out. 1 more on this side before we move on to our right. Flex the left foot, stack everything. Midline of the foot, pushing into the stick. Keep that strong flex. Tailbone under. Notice again, you're activating your core, front line of the body. You should be shaking. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Good. Take a moment, roll out through the shoulders. Now we're going to do 3 on the other side. Find your position, stand tall. So when you're pushing down now through that left foot, you got to squeeze that seat, lift the right, and push. Toes flexed, right hip down. Good. Drive down with about 70-80% of your strength. 5, 4, 3, 2, and recover. Good. 2 more. Standing tall. Take a moment, reset. If you didn't quite feel it on the first one, find that alignment, press out to the side. Squeeze. Activate, hold. We're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and recover. Good, last one. I'm going to take my stick now out a little bit further to bring it up a notch. All right, center your body weight. Drive down through the left. Squeeze the seat. Press out. So we're working some abduction, adduction throughout the workout. Press, tailbone stays under. You'll really feel it once you keep that seat tucked. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and recover. Excellent. Shake it out. Now we're taking it to the ground. I'm using my piece of furniture here, and we're going into some tricep extension that also focuses on lighting up the front of the body. So if you need your towel, you're going to kneel on it. You've got both sticks. To make it easier, you're going to come in closer. The further back your knees go, the more you have some depth with that incline. That's going to be more challenging. So for your setup, you're on your knees. Before you even begin, I want you to take the tops of the feet down, tuck the seat under. When you do that, you're going to feel your front line light up. So keeping your glutes engaged the entire time. Now your hands are not up too high. So they're right in line with the shoulders or slightly below. And I'm going to drive down into the sticks. From here, inhale, bend the elbows. I come forward, chin is neutral. And then exhale, press back. So we're going to do a set of 8 together. If you find 8 is too much, do a few, recover for a moment, and then rejoin us. So take your position. If you want to make it harder, you're going to draw those knees back. Take a moment, pack those shoulders, engage the lats, squeeze. Light up that front line. Inhale, bend, exhale, draw it back. Good. Inhale, come forward on number 2. Exhale, push it back. The more tension you apply to the sticks, driving into the ground, the harder it is. So here we are. Inhale, exhale, press back. Again, watch the alignment with your neck, so keep your chin neutral. Inhale, exhale, press back. 3 more. Really work from the back of the arm. Keep those shoulders packed. A lot of core. Bend. Exhale. Push back. Last one. Watch your alignment. Keep the rib cage closed. Press back. Perfect. Nice work. So now we're going to get into our stretching portion. Take one stick down. We're going to come to a standing position. Stretch out our triceps here. So I'm taking the stick into my left hand with a thumb facing down, right to the base of my neck. Right hand is going to find the stick at the swell of the lower back, taking our horse stance. Now that elbow is going to point directly upward towards the ceiling. So you can see on my profile, chin is neutral, shoulder is down and back, elbow up towards the ceiling, and lifting out of my hip line, this right hand, my knuckles are going to push out towards my window, keeping again that top left elbow open, and then come through center. One more time. So knuckles of the right hand, I'm going to push out towards my window, really focusing on the left tricep through the rib cage, keeping that tailbone under, and then coming back through center. Good. Take it around, roll out through the shoulders for a moment, and now thumb facing down, stick into the right hand, pause here, chin neutral, knuckles pressing out to the left, angle, look up to your right on the exhale, elbow upward towards that ceiling. Again, we're thinking of lifting out of the hips rather crunching into the hips. And then back. One more time. Lift out of the hip line. Take that opposite left shoulder down away from the ear. Hold. And then we're coming back through center. Excellent. Shake it out. Before we return to our stretching portion, I wanted to add in an RDL where we're working into different planes of motion. The RDL series by Stick Mobility is one of my favorites for building that foot-ankle complex, for the posterior chain, and really for injury prevention too. So taking your stick onto the top of your left foot, I'm going to go on profile, pack that shoulder. So when this arm is nice and straight, you're able to really feel that activation. So we're creating some cross-body tension. I'm going to elevate my left foot, soften that right knee, pushing into the stick. Now, rotating inward a little bit, keeping the toes facing down, and then outward a little bit. Inward towards the leg. Yep, grip the ground, find a focal point, don't round the spine. Definitely not holding your breath. And rotate outward. One more time. Eyes down. Watch that alignment. Push into the stick so everything is staying connected. One more time. Open out away from the leg. Good. Come through center. Slowly drive up. So a lot of the work we did earlier prepared us for this drill. Switching sides. Now the stick is on the right foot. Pack that shoulder. Find your alignment. Stand tall. Lift. I like to have the other arm kind of come down. Give a little visual guidance. Rotating inward. Again, back foot parallel. Back hip parallel. Rotating outward. So you're definitely going to kind of know which side is more challenging. It's hard to talk at the same time here. Rotate inward. Good. Keep that connection. Rotate outward. One more. You're going to rotate inward and then rotate outward. Yesterday I did an hour on the rowing machine and my right side is like, But if you ever need anything to hold on to, you could use a piece of furniture. You could also use your short stick for a little bit of balance. But that's an excellent drill that you could eventually add some weight to. So you could use a kettlebell at any time to kind of offset and add some strength into the mix. Speaking of kettlebells, one of my favorite tools, I'm going to show you the stick mobility windmill that is similar in the sense of the stretch that happens through the hip line in a bow and arrow. So we're going to go from bow and arrow first into the stick mobility windmill. Take your stick to the outside of your right foot, maybe about 3 or 4 inches out from that midline. That left thumb is going to face down. Your right hand is going to find where that sticker is. Leading with the hip first, the hip is going to press out towards the window, tuck your tailbone under, and then look upward towards the ceiling. So that top arm is pulling as that bottom arm is pressing out. And I want you to take note, hold your stretch, but take note of what you're feeling in that left hip. Slowly come out of your bow and arrow. Then your stick now is going to come to the swell of your lower back. Your stance is going to be slightly wider than hip width, and then we're going to pivot our toes to the right like we would if we were performing a kettlebell windmill. This right side is going to come to the ground, but first, much like our bow and arrow, I'm going to send my left hip out towards my window. Then the right knee is soft, stick comes down to the inside of the foot and open through the chest. So left foot gripping the ground, straight. You have that proper hip hinge, getting a little deeper glute stretch, shoulders stacked, chest is open. Now I'm going to squeeze into the stick and then angle, look upward towards the ceiling and then downward towards the floor. One more, look upward towards the ceiling and then downward towards the floor. Take a moment, push and activate your feet first, squeeze the glutes, and slowly come out of the windmill. Now we're going to the other side. 3 to 4 inches out from the midline of your foot, top right hand, thumb faces down, left finding the sticker. Leading with that hip first, press the hip out. So your top right arm is going to pull back as that bottom left arm pushes. See under, opening through those lateral lines. Just be mindful that you're not jutting your chin forward. And again, you've got about 30% pressure pressing down into the floor. And then slowly come out of it. We're going to take our stick to the swell of our back, just like we did on the other side. Now, we're a little bit wider than hip width. Pivot the toes so now that they face towards the left. The indent of that right seat should be tucked under instead of seat out first when we start our position. Standing tall, push into the stick, activate that posterior chain. Now, send the hip towards the right, hip hinge, grip the ground with the feet. Your stick's going to come down to the inside of the left foot, angle, look up towards the ceiling, and then down towards the floor. Chest stays open, so be mindful that your top right shoulder is not rounding forward. Breathing through the nose. Good. Pause. Grip the ground with the feet, activate the glutes, and then slowly come out of your stretch. Take a moment, shake it out. We're going to go into our kneeling monkey hang. We're taking our stick, might as well just keep it on that left side. Cross your right leg over. When you're going to take your back knee to the floor, we want to slide down so that that stick is nice and close towards our hip line. You could keep the ball of the foot anchored to the floor. I personally like to take the top of the foot down. So this back foot is not parallel. It's windshield wiper out to the side. Then my right hand is going to come across, grab midway through the stick, and then I'm going to allow my left hip to sink out. Exhale, rotate, looking over the right shoulder, coming through center, gently release. Now I'm going to slide the left hand down, again about 23% pressure into the stick. I'm going to open up that front line and look back behind. So back wall, slide up, right hand comes across, rotate, exhale, again working into those lateral lines, into the shoulder girdle, reach across, down into the hip, gently release, right arm forward, left arm back, slide it down a little bit more, open through the chest. And then back through center. Perfect. Transitioning, other side, stick to the right. Simply cross that left leg over. Again, keep it close to the hip line, top of the foot down. So I have a bit of that hanging feeling, right? And then left hand comes across. Rotate into the left. Slowly coming through center, reach that left arm forward, right arm back, push down into the stick. It's going to open up through the bicep, in through that chest line. Glide it up once again, come across, about 30%, rotate in. Allow that right hip to drop slightly out. Back up through center. Take a moment here and look behind. Excellent. Coming through center, we're going to go into a hip stretch, but also more into our T-spine. To get into the position, you're going to angle your stick coming across the midline of your body. Then you're going to simply step over, take a moment, lower that back knee, and now I'm going to slide this stick a little bit towards my right. Proud chest, squeezing into the glute, and then rotate behind. Come through center. So this shoulder is down to back, arm forward, twist, looking back behind, squeezing into that seat. Slowly through center, anchor with the ball of your foot, and then we're going to switch. So now left leg, come down, proud chest, pull back, look behind you, back through center. Good. Inhale, exhale, reach, and then realign. Excellent. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So switching, let's begin with left foot over. Come down. I'm going to slide this back just a few inches. Proud chest, standing tall, squeeze through the glute, pulling back with that top arm. Exhale, reach back. Inhale, come through center. Again, reach back, follow it through, keep squeezing the glute, stretching into the hip, into the upper body, and back through center. Drive down through that back foot, and we switch. Simply take the right knee down, proud chest, angle, bending a little bit deeper into that front knee, back through center. So I'm getting that feedback from driving down into the stick. So watch again that alignment so that hip is not leaking out to the side. Hold here. And then take a moment, we're going to finish on the ground, going into our straddle. with your straddle, everybody's flexibility, mobility is different. So if you need to, you're going to narrow your position instead of taking the legs wide out to your side. One of my favorite drills here for kind of lighting up the hamstrings, and I want you to be mindful that you're not sinking into the back. That's why we did a lot of T-spine stretches. I want you to be able to sit nice and tall on your sit bones. So you're flexing your feet, cross one hand over the other, and then press down into the floor. So you're activating the backside. Drop those shoulders, pull in with the stick. Again, sitting nice and tall, and now point the toes. Feel the difference. Now, next time you flex, you might be able to open out a little bit wider. Again, work with what's comfortable for you. Draw back, sit tall, breathe, point, push down. Now we're also getting a nice stretch to the top of the foot and the tibia. Upright, last one. Take a moment, roll your stick, switch hands. Maybe you open out a little bit wider, again, with whatever is comfortable for you. Now, when you draw back and flex, push your heels into the floor. Take a moment, if your tailbone is scooped back, take it under, sit nice and tall, bend those elbows. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose if you want to practice your diaphragmatic breathing. And now change to a strong point. Hold. 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on 5, take a moment, gently release, shake it out, and then take your hands underneath your underneath your knees and slide your knees in. Just do a little bit of a wiper before we stand up. Thank you so much for joining me in class today. I apologize. It felt a little off from the beginning with my puppy keeping me awake every day, and I really thought that I was going to be able to get her to settle down before class started, so I was a little scattered. My deepest apologies. I hope you still enjoyed class. You could reach out to me at any time. So I'm KelsBells88 on Instagram. And remember that this class will be loaded onto the IG main page, also on YouTube. And make sure to check out the Movement Made Better podcast. Dennis and Neil have some fantastic guests on all the time. Again, thank you, and I will not be here next month. George and I alternate Tuesdays every other month, so he'll be here for the month of March, and I will see you in April when my puppy will be a little bit more trained. Thank you again.